Hello runners, it is your running partner Dr. Maina Justice. Today I want to teach you something in regression on how to solve regression question during an exam with much ease. So calculators are some of the systems that came to assist us on solving things very fast. So you're given such a question here where you have x and y. Then you're supposed to compute for a and b because already you have the x's and the y's. So it means that x is usually the independent variable, while y is usually the dependent variable in a regression equation. So what you're supposed to do here is that you're supposed to compute for a and b so that we can fit in the regression equation for the purposes of estimation. So you find that mostly you're supposed to solve this equation using simultaneous equation, such that the simultaneous equation, equation number 1, says that a summation of y is equals to na plus b summation of x, and this one we say is equation 1. Then the other equation 2 is summation of xy is equals to a summation of x plus b summation of x squared. That is equation 2. That becomes our equation 2. So with that, it shows that we require to have, first of all, summation of y. For us to solve this equation, we need n. We also need summation of x for the first equation there. Then for the second equation, we require summation of xy. Already we have summation of x, so the next thing is summation of x squared. So most of the time in an exam time, you're given little time. So what you need is to use your calculator because it is accepted in any exam room. So to check for that using your calculator, we just get to our calculator and see how can we solve such an equation where we have the x's and y to fit in the regression equation, which is y is equals to a plus bx for the purposes of estimation. So in that case, what you're supposed to do is to ensure that your calculator is on regression mode. What we can see here, it is a D. So we need to change that to a regression mode. The first step is that you press alpha, then you press mode. It gives you 3 options there, that is comp, SD, and regression mode. So you press 3. Then the first thing that comes in there is regression, so you press 1, and you can see wonderful, there is regression on top there. So what you do next is to ensure that the next step is to have the x and y's being inputted in our calculator, and what we have there is that we have 2 and 10 as the first step. So the first n is that we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are 5 entries that we have been given. So we require to have the first one there, which we have to come to the computer and have 2 as the first entry. Then you put a comma, then 10, then you press this table here, it is n plus. You see n is 1. So that is the first entry, and we have seen that the first entry is 1. So we move to the next one is 8, comma, then you have 60, then you press n plus. You can see the n is 2. So if we move to the next entry is 15, comma, then we have 80, then we press n plus. You can see the entries are 3. Then we have 19, comma, then you are given 94, then n plus. You can see the entry is 4. Then we have 26, comma, then we have 115. So in that case, you can say n plus. You see all the entries are 5. Wonderful. So I want to get all the entries for this summation of y and summation of x, summation of xy. So simply what I can indicate is that this is the total ends. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 entries. So I can indicate 5 there. Or alternatively, I can just have my calculator back at 0 point, then press shift, then 1. Then I get number 1 is summation of x squared. So if I press 1 in my calculator, then equals, gives me summation of x squared is that 13. Then I press back and I find that I can go to shift again, plus 1. And now number 2 equals, gives me summation of x, which is 70. So summation of x is 70. Then I can move on and move again, shift, number 1. I have number 3 is equals to, gives me 5. Already we had calculated that and found that it is 5. So as simple as that. Again, we can try and check what is the summation of y. What is the summation of y? So shift 1 again, we just go sideways and see that we have summation of y. It is number 2, so then equals. So that is 359. So indicate there 359. So summation of xy, I press shift, then I press 1, then sideways, I get summation of y is number 3. So I press number 3 equals. So that gives me 6476. So with that, I can be able to fit in my all equation 1 and equation 2. But for me here, that is work that is so tedious, so that you can do on your own time and fit. So the next step is to see how easily can I solve that immediately and have my equation y is equals to a plus bx. And I can be able to solve this by getting my a and also my b. So how can I get my a and b in my calculator? So I just press shift, number 2, then I move sideways until I get my a. My a is number 1, so equals. So it means it's 13.8. It is 13.8. So how do I get my b? It is shift, then number 2, I move sideways with that arrow, number 2, and I say equals. That gives me 4.143. So that is what I've gotten there. So simply, I can be able to fit this in my equation. Y is equals to, A is 13.8 plus 4.143x. So perhaps that is what I've been asked. So if you fit in your equation, you can be able to see the answer there, then compare with what we have gotten here. So that simply solves what the mwalimu might have asked or the teacher has asked in the question there. So within a few seconds, you have been able to solve that. But somebody might be asking what is the regression or what is the r squared. So in this case here, you just press shift, then press number 2, move sideways, and you find r is 3 equals. So that means it is equal to 0.96, or you can say 0.9699. So that is approximately 0.97. So I think I've taught you something today that is much easier on solving linear regressions or cost estimation for anything that you're computing. So that is a prediction model that you can be able to compute using your calculator. I wish you all the best in your practices and enjoy. I'm always your running partner, Dr. Maina Justice.